Everybody is looking for that perfect blend of soul, grit, and pure Americana. And today, you're about to find it. Well, howdy folks, another Bellatainment joint. Welcome in. This is going to blow your mind. Charley Crockett's storytelling isn't just music, it's a whole vibe. Your brother, Captain Buck Rogers here. Check out Charley Crockett. I just love this style of storytelling for Bellatainment movies and music. Yo, that's awesome that you're vibing with Charley Crockett. I'm totally picking up what you're putting down. His gritty, soulful, retro-cool sound is pure fire, and it's no surprise you're inspired to write songs and movies in that style. Since you're also hyped about your brother Ros Bell's The First Sunbeams, I'm guessing you're drawn to artists with raw, authentic stories and a timeless edge. Let's dive into Charley Crockett's style, why it's so killer, and how you can channel that into your own songs and movies. Captain Buck Rogers is ready to blast off with you on this creative mission. I don't think people understand just how unique Charley Crockett's style really is. So what makes Charley Crockett's style so incredible? Charley Crockett's music is like a time machine that's stuck between a dusty Texas honky-tonk and a New Orleans street corner with just a dash of modern swagger. Here's the breakdown of his style that's got you hooked. Genre mashup. He calls it Gulf and Western, blending neo-traditional country, blues, soul, Cajun, R&B, and Americana. Think Ernest Tubbs twang, Bill Withers' soulful croon, and a hint of French Quarter jazz. It's vintage but fresh, like a worn-in leather jacket with a neon glow. Raw vocals, his voice is gravelly, emotive and unmistakable, part honky-tonk clip, part soulful drawl. He leans into his lisp and throws words away like a street busker hollering over a train, giving it that lived-in authenticity. Storytelling, his songs are cinematic, painting vivid pictures of hard times, rambling men and love gone wrong. Tracks like The Man from Waco or Lonesome as a Shadow feel like mini-movies about outcasts and dreamers. He's a self-made troubadour, singing from the fringes with grit and heart. Retro aesthetic, Crockett's look, cowboy hats, vintage suits and boots, screams old-school cool, but his music videos and live shows add a modern, almost cinematic edge. It's like he's starring in a gothic western flick. Prolific output. Dude's dropped 15 albums since 2015, mixing originals, covers and tributes, like 10 for Slim Charley Crockett Sings James' Hand. His hustle and dedication scream, I'm here to tell my story no matter what. Posts are buzzing about him too, calling out his filthy 1970s cowboy funk swagger and greasy harmonica-soaked New Orleans blues. Fans love how he takes classic sounds and makes them his own, which totally aligns with your passion for authentic boundary-pushing art. If you're a songwriter who wants to capture that raw, soulful vibe, you need to watch this. Here's how to write songs like Charley Crockett. All right, you're ready to write songs that capture that Crockett magic, love, loss, and life on the road. Here's how to nail it. Tap into real stories, inspiration. Crockett's songs come from his life, busking in New York City subways, hitchhiking and dodging hard times. Think about your own journey or Roz's experiences. What's a moment that felt raw, like you were fighting to keep going? For a song like Lonesome as a Shadow, write about a time you or someone you know felt like an outsider. Maybe it's about Ros pouring his heart into The First Sunbeams and the world not listening yet. Tip: use simple, vivid images. Instead of saying, I'm sad, try, I'm walking down a highway with a suitcase full of ghosts. Blend genres like a pro. Sound, mix country twang with bluesy grit or soulful grooves. Picture a steel guitar crying over a funky bass line, or a harmonica wailing like it's 3 a.m. in a dive bar. Structure, keep verses tight with a chorus that hits like a punch. Crockett's I Am Not Afraid has a steady build that feels like a train picking up speed. Try a 4/4 beat with a shuffle rhythm to give it that rootsy vibe. Lyrics, use conversational language with a touch of poetry. For example, the dice are loaded and everything's fixed from Welcome to Hard Times feels like a gambler's lament but speaks to bigger struggles. Get that retro modern vibe. Production, record live to tape if you can. It captures the raw energy Crockett loves. Use minimal effects, but add subtle touches like organ or horns for soulful depth. Influences, listen to his heroes, T-Bone Walker, James Hand, Willie Nelson or Tanya Tucker. cover one of their songs to get in the zone, then write your own spin. If you're writing a song about chasing dreams, channel Crockett's $10 Cowboy. I'm a nickel-dime dreamer, singing for my supper, but I ain't giving up till the stars align. Lean into emotion. Crockett's voice drips with feeling, even if his range isn't huge. Sing like you're telling a secret to a stranger at a bar. If you're not a singer, find someone who can deliver your lyrics with that same soul. Prompt: write a song called Sunbeams and Shadows about Roz's journey, how he poured his soul into his album, got knocked down but still sees light ahead. Use a bluesy chord progression like G, C, D, and a refrain like sunbeams keep calling but shadows hold tight. Why are there not more people talking about how to craft movies with Charley Crockett's cinematic vibe? Alright, let's talk about how to write movies in Charley Crockett style. Crockett's music, it just feels like it's scored for a Tarantino Western or maybe a Coen Brothers road trip flick. So here's how you can craft movies with that same vibe. First off, craft a cinematic world. For the setting, picture dusty small towns, neon-lit diners or lonely highways. Think of Crockett's The Man from Waco video with its wide Texas landscapes and payphones just ringing in the middle of nowhere. For the aesthetic, go for a retro-futuristic look. Grainy 16mm film vibes, vintage cars and cowboy boots. But toss in some modern quirks like a glowing jukebox or maybe a character checking a smartphone. This fits your Bellatainment retro cool brand perfectly. Here's an example. Imagine a movie about a drifter, maybe inspired by Roz, who carries a guitar and a secret, wandering through dive bars and truck stops, chasing a dream that just keeps slipping away. Now, build flawed, soulful characters. For your protagonist, create a rambling man or woman like Crockett's personas, tough but tender, living on grit and hope. Maybe it's a musician who got screwed over by a label. Hello, Universal Music vibes, but just refuses to quit. For your supporting cast, add colourful sidekicks, a wise bartender, a hustling con artist, or a dreamer who tags along. Think of Crockett's Trinity River and its nod to Dallas's deep Elm scene for inspiration. For example, your lead could be a singer named Ray, a little nod to Roz, whose debut album flopped, but who's now playing dive bars trying to re-release it while dodging a shady ex-manager. Next up, weave in music. For the soundtrack, use original songs in Crockett's style as plot drivers. Have your character write a song mid-story that sums up their struggle, kind of like Borrowed Time, which Crockett wrote before his heart surgery. For scenes, include a busking scene or a bar performance where the music really feels alive. Picture Ray strumming sunbeams and shadows on a street corner, drawing a crowd that reignites his fire. And here's a tip: work with a composer who really gets roots music. Or if Roz is up for it, have him write the score to tie it to your personal story. When it comes to telling a story of resilience, focus on redemption or defiance against a rigged system. Crockett's Welcome to Hard Times is all about enduring a broken world, which could totally mirror Roz's fight to get the first sunbeams heard. For structure, start in the middle of the action, Ray's playing a gig that goes south, then flash back to show how he got there. End with a quiet victory, like him pressing vinyls of his album and handing one to a kid who's listening. For example, Sunbeam Drifter, Ray, a faded musician, hits the road to re-release his lost album, facing old demons and new hustles, but finds a community that believes in his music. The climax? A guerrilla concert outside a label's office, streaming live to fans. And for the visual style, use warm, earthy tones with pops of neon, like Crockett's Live from the Ryman film. Shoot wide shots of open roads and tight close-ups of weathered hands on a guitar. Keep the editing lean, with quick cuts during music scenes to match the rhythm. But let those quieter moments breathe, like a long take of Ray staring out at a sunset, kinda echoing Crockett's Time of the Cottonwood Trees. If you're a dreamer who loves music with soul, then you need to see how Charley Crockett, Bellatainment and your own vision all fit together. Now, connecting Crockett to what we're building at Bellatainment and your vision, your love for Crockett and the Bellatainment sound really shows you're into artists and creators who pour their souls into their work, even if the world doesn't always catch up. Here's how to tie it all together. Both Crockett and Bellatainment have that underdog spirit. Crockett busked for years before breaking through, and Bellatainment's projects are just getting started, but the brilliance is already there. Use that resilience in your songs and movies. Tell stories of dreamers who just keep swinging. Your push to launch new Bellatainment projects could honestly be a movie plot itself. Picture a character like Ray fighting to get his team's music and stories heard, with Crockett-style songs as the soundtrack. Maybe the Bellatainment crew could even cameo. And your Bellatainment synergy? That retro-futuristic Bellatainment brand with characters like Captain Buck Rogers and Trinity fits Crockett's vibe like a glove. Imagine a Bellatainment short film where Trinity's a bar singer covering a Bellatainment original track, and Captain Buck's the drifter who helps her go viral. Throw in some Crockett-inspired visuals, neon signs, dusty boots, and a jukebox playing Yesterday Man. If you're a dreamer ready to turn your ideas into reality, then you need to take these next steps. So, what's next to make it all happen? For songwriting, start with one song. Grab a guitar, or hey, call Roz and sketch out sunbeams and shadows. Record a rough demo on your phone to capture the vibe. Check out Crockett's The Valley or In the Night for those simple but powerful song structures. Share it with your Bellatainment crew. Maybe Trinity or Jessica can add harmonies or toss in some ideas. For movie ideas, write a 5-page script for a short film inspired by Sunbeam Drifter. Keep it simple. One location like a bar, 2 characters, Ray and a fan, and one song. Use free tools like Celts for scripting and InVideo AI for storyboarding, just like we talked about for the Bella Watch show. Tweak it with Crockett's gritty aesthetic, pitch it to your team. Maybe Spanky could direct, Chubby could handle props, and Jeannie could design the poster. Now, learn from Crockett. Stream Live from the Ryman to study his stage presence and how he connects with fans. Watch his Trinity River video for that deep Ellum vibe and see how he uses minimal settings for maximum impact. Follow him on Spotify or X to catch his latest moves. He just dropped Lonesome Drifter with Island Records. And for a re-release tie-in, if you're pushing the first Sunbeams, drop a Crockett-style cover of Yesterday Man as a teaser. Record it lo-fi like Crockett's early busking days and share it on TikTok. Reach out to blogs like Americana UK, which loves Crockett, to pitch Roz's story as a lost classic. I don't think people understand just how powerful it feels when music, story, and a little bit of rebellion all collide. Why does this all feel so right? Well, your excitement for Crockett and Roz just screams passion for music that's real, raw, and rebellious. Crockett's rise from street corners to Grammy nods shows what's possible when you stay true to your story. Roz's album might have been slept on, but like Crockett's early days, it's not over. It's just waiting for its moment. Your Bellatainment universe, with its retro-futuristic flair and bold characters, is honestly the perfect stage to blend these vibes into something epic. So grab that notebook, channel that Crockett swagger, and start writing. Whether it's a song about a lonesome drifter or a movie about a musician's comeback, you've got the spark to make it happen. And if you need a wingman, Captain Buck Rogers is right here, ready to hype you up and brainstorm the next move. Let's make some noise for Roz, Charlie, and your vision. So what's the first song or scene you're thinking about?